This is not good for a quarterback. Not good.
Put him in the Hall of Fame because of 7-on-7 drills in June. And now it's like, well, he was going 41 over the limit. Let's
you know me.
They're going to be watching you. Scouts are watching you. The GM's watching you. Owners are watching you.
Haters are absolutely fuming right now because Shedeur Sanders just destroyed a veteran NFL quarterback in practice, and it wasn't even close. We're talking about one rookie, one practice, and one throw that had the entire field losing their minds. This is exactly how NFL stars get born, right in front of everyone's eyes.
That's because you see what that kid looked like in practice. You've seen his work ethic. Everything you heard about him is not true, right? Don't let the jewelry and the music and the swagger fool you. He a hard worker. First thing the head coach said, hey, he's the first one in the building, he's the last one to leave.
Pat McAfee wasn't exaggerating when he said, this kid is different. That wasn't some hyped-up TV moment. It was a real reaction to something NFL insiders couldn't believe. On a random Tuesday, during what should have been a routine Browns practice, Shedeur Sanders walked in and flipped the script. Now, some fans are all in, calling it the birth of an NFL star. Others are rolling their eyes, saying people get too hyped over rookies all the time. But here's the thing. This wasn't just another feel-good story.
But now when we get to it and the head coach is saying, hey, you know, we're going to split these reps up, man. I know we got some veterans that won Super Bowls. I know we got some first rounds. I know we got this and that in the third. I know we took them out in the third round. But we're going to give everybody a chance to start. And you like, huh?
See, this wasn't your typical rookie takes a few reps and looks decent type of situation. There's already talk about the Browns maybe carrying 4 quarterbacks on the 53-man roster, which isn't normal. Teams don't usually do that. And when you've got Joe Flacco on the depth chart, a veteran, Super Bowl MVP, the kind of guy who's seen it all, it's not like there's an empty chair waiting for a rookie.
But the thing I love about Shedeur is he seems way more focused and like, I'm here, and I ain't here to be nobody's backup. I think he's going to be starting the next 5 games, man.
But Shedeur isn't just any rookie. Carrying his father's legacy automatically puts a target on his back. NFL insiders didn't hesitate to say things like, he's only good because of his dad, or let's see if that arm holds up in the pros. That's why the tension in that locker room was real. Veterans aren't going to just hand over respect. You have to take it.
I think it's dope that he out there in the middle of the night, in the rain, throwing the football, working on his game with the Browns helmet on, letting people know I'm out here representing for the whole city.
Now, here's where things start to get wild. Shedeur didn't come in quiet, keeping his head down like most rookies do. First huddle, first snap. Before he even throws a pass, there's a shift. The offensive linemen are suddenly sitting up straighter. There's this ripple effect. That's presence. And Shedeur hadn't even thrown the ball yet. Then it happens. First play call comes in. Standard stuff, just a basic out route. But Shedeur doesn't just take the call and run it. He looks at the defense, sees something off, and makes an audible. On his first rep against the first-team defense, while playing alongside vets who don't even know his middle name yet. That's breaking a silent rule in the NFL. Rookies aren't supposed to come in calling shots like that.
I just think it just shows that, like, he's thinking of this more long-term. He's thinking of it being more comfortable in his skin, coming out being like, hey, look, I'm going to work on my game. I could be doing a lot of other things right now.
Now, this is the part where it could have all blown up. Coaches could have benched him. Teammates could have lost trust. But what does Shedeur do instead? He completes that pass with surgical precision. Ball placement, timing, perfect. So perfect the defensive coordinator threw his hat on the ground. Not because he was mad, because he couldn't believe what he just saw.
I do not cling to opinions. New information, new opinion. I'm an airline pilot.
That's not normal in NFL practice. You don't see staff documenting reps unless something really different is happening. And fans noticed too. The comments started flooding in. The genesis of an NFL star. Go Browns. Then things kicked up another notch. First-team offense versus first-team defense. No more light reps. No more easing into it. Now it's real. Joe Flacco takes his turn. Veteran cool, clean, efficient. Check downs, moving the chains, but nothing too risky. Then Shedeur steps up. And instead of panicking or getting conservative, he starts reading the defense like he's been doing this for years.
I made the team. I'm on the team. I'm the highest jersey seller on the team. And Miles Garrett's across from me. And you think he's not going to make the team? The make the team stuff is over with.
This wasn't just about completing passes. It was about situational mastery. seeing things other guys missed, making the right move under pressure, and doing it like he'd been there forever. That's why the vibe around that practice shifted. It wasn't just Shedeur impressing the coaches. It was Shedeur making everyone on that field realize they might be looking at the future. And that's why people are still arguing in the comments today. Is Shedeur Sanders really the next big thing? Or is it just practice hype that won't last under the lights? Either way, that Tuesday changed the conversation.
It matters. New information. Legendary. 100 miles an hour. Judgment is 50% of being a quarterback. When you fall to 144 in the draft and then try to match that number behind the wheel of a car, yeah, I don't think the same.
So here's where things got flat out wild. At first, it was just a regular Browns practice. Offense doing their thing, defense doing theirs. But once Shedeur Sanders started cooking, the energy shifted fast. We're talking position coaches dropping clipboards, dudes who were mid-drill literally stopping what they were doing just to watch. You ever seen an entire NFL practice pause because of one player? That's exactly what happened.
I think he out there just comfortable and being like, man, listen, I'm out here just putting work in and I'm gonna get my opportunity, but believe me.
But here's the thing, Shedeur wasn't rattled. If anything, the more heat they brought, the calmer he got. His footwork, clean.
They're going to be watching you. Scouts are watching you. The GM's watching you. Owners are watching you. They're seeing your body language. They're seeing how you are when you go in the huddle and you do get a couple reps. They're seeing how you execute, how you get on with the rest of the teammates, how you walk into the locker room.
Now here's the kicker. He doesn't say a word. No fist pump, no helmet tap, no flex. Just jogs back to the huddle like it's business as usual. And that right there, that's what got under the veteran's skin more than any touchdown pass ever could. It wasn't even about showing off. It was about looking like this wasn't even new for him. That calm broke something in the vets mentally. But if you thought that was the peak of the day, nope. Because now we get to the knockout punch.
Hey, listen, man, if everything the Cleveland Brown coaching staff is saying is true, that you're going to open this competition up and you're going to let the best guy win the job, if all that is true and you ain't blowing smoke up you know what? He should be the week 1 starter. Hold on.
The coaches set up this deep comeback route drill. If you know football, you know that's no easy throw. Timing has to be perfect. Placement has to be perfect. The veteran runs it first. Solid throw, smooth, what you'd expect from a guy who's been doing this longer than Shedeur's been driving.
And I think that it's good for a young person in his position to be put through those tests because ultimately you're going to be tested. So why not start from scratch and try to test them now?
Now here's the part that really had folks talking, and not just about arm strength or flashy plays. What separates guys who just flash for a minute from those who really last in the NFL isn't the highlight reel. It's the mindset. But the moment that really stuck with people wasn't even a throw. It was what happened after practice. Shedeur walked right over to the veteran quarterback he'd just outdueled. And let me tell you, that hit harder than any touchdown celebration. You could see the vibe shift. The vet smiled, slapped him on the back. Respect earned, not just for the throws, but for how Shedeur carried himself. That's the kind of moment that gets talked about later on when careers are being written up.
The Cleveland Browns, and I think it was interesting to hear what Kevin Stefanski said about the spring, where it was more of a teaching and an installation.
Now, this is where we have to hit pause and get real for a second. Rookies look great in practice, get the internet buzzing, and then disappear once the real games start. It's not new. Guys like Nathan Peterman once lit up training camp. Christian Hackenberg, too. YouTube is full of those clips that aged terribly. And yet, here's why Shedeur feels different. First of all, the numbers. 11,000 plus college passing yards. That's not some fluke stat. That's consistency over years. And we're not talking gimmicky offense either.
His willingness to handle, not ability, because we know he has the ability, but his willingness to handle adversity. His willingness, you want to see if you're the Browns, how he's going to react to not being with the first team.
Second, pressure. Most rookies show up to the NFL with a clean slate. No expectations outside their own draft slot. Shedeur walked in already carrying all kinds of noise. He's just Deion's son, overhyped. He can't handle NFL speed. And still, he walked into a facility with veterans and made them look twice. That's pressure meeting preparation. And it's not just fans getting curious either. the Browns might seriously carry 4 quarterbacks this season. That's not normal. That's front office people looking at Shedeur and saying, we're not letting this one go too soon. It feels like one of those changing of the guard moments you hear about years later, when Montana gave way to Steve Young, when Favre handed off to Rodgers. Now, I'm not saying Shedeur is already at that level, but it's got that early energy.
We're gonna, and this is gonna look great. And he's a marketing dude. He finds a way to endear himself to people, which I love that is calculated because it takes a lot.
And so here's where we're really at. It's not about highlight clips anymore. It's about asking the big questions. Can Shedeur take what he did in practice and do it under real NFL lights? Can that same calm, that same confidence hold up in a real game when the hits actually count and defenders aren't pulling up short?
They're evaluating all that right now when he's not the man. He's not being treated as the man.
And maybe even bigger, how do the veterans handle this? Do they mentor him, pull him aside, or do they tighten up, try to remind the rookie who's boss? Because no matter how cool the moment was, NFL jobs are on the line. That quiet duel from practice could turn into a real roster shakeup. Is the NFL ready for a Sanders legacy at quarterback? We've had Hall of Fame cornerbacks, running backs, receivers, but a quarterback? That's a different level.